Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video we will look at the last part of UX evaluation techniques, which is the metrics. Metrics allow you to measure how people are experiencing your site or your application in real time. So instead of you just assessing how much traffic your site is getting, you'd want to understand why you are getting that much traffic and how the website is performing. So it basically just it stops UX designers from just relying on their own instincts and assumptions, but rather they are now depending on a real-time evidence-based predictions. They use data-driven process in order to understand how the site is performing, and at the end of the day, this the metrics they bridge the gap between the user expectations and the overall business goals. So one metrics that we'll look at is Google Analytics. And Google Analytics basically provides information from the time a user lands on your website to the time they exit. The first Google Analytics that we'll look at is the bounce rates. And bounce rates basically look or measure how many people are coming to a specific page on your website if you've designed a website, and then leaving without going deeper into your website, or leaving without doing anything tangible or anything that you'd want the users to do on that particular website. And people are likely to leave your website if they cannot find what they're looking for. If they can't get the website to do what they wanted to do, then they're going to leave your website. A high bounce rate means that something on that page is wrong, or it's confusing to the users, or that something is missing. So in a sense, users can't do what they want to do on that website, or they can't find what they're looking for on that website. But the issue with bounce rates is just they tell you they only tell you what the problem is on a specific page, but they don't pinpoint and be like, the issue is here at this point in this page. It doesn't identify specific issues, and it doesn't fix the issues for you. So you'd want your bounce rate to be close to zero. The lower the bounce rate, the better. Event tracking is when you measure your users' interactions with the content that you've put up on your website. So here we're assuming that you've designed a website, and that's the system that your users are interacting with. So it allows you to record interactions with elements of your website, which sometimes are just not tracked by default by Google Analytics. And some of the things that you can measure are, you can look at the number of downloads, you can look at the number of video plays, the number of ad clicks, pop-ups, and things like that. So if you have a high download of a certain video, then it means that video is well designed and your users are actually loving it. Or if you have a high ad click, it means something on that website of yours is well designed and your users are loving it. So the higher the event tracking, or the higher the number of that elements that you're trying to measure, the better. If it's low, then you have to go back, iterate, and then test again. Page views basically tell you the number of views that you have per page or per video, and they usually measure user engagement, but a higher page view does not necessarily mean that users are engaging with your content. In as much as a high page view could tell you that users are engaging with your content or your website, it could also mean that the layout of that page is confusing, so someone has to view that page multiple times. It could also mean that that page is difficult to read, or whatever it is that you want your users to do on that particular page is not clearly visible, so the users don't necessarily understand what they're supposed to do on that page, so they would tend to view it multiple times. Or it could also mean that someone is finding that page bothering, so they have to check it more than once. So page view does not necessarily tell you how your website is performing. And sometimes with page views, you could look at the number of new visitors versus the number of returning visitors. If your number of new visitors is higher than the number of returning visitors, it means you're doing something wrong. You need to go back, reiterate, and test again, because the majority of the time it's difficult to attract new users and make them stay if you can't even make the ones that you already have stay. So instead, you'd want to use the conversion rate, which we'll look at in our next video. So we'll stop there for now, and then in our next video we will look at the audience, the average session duration, behavior, and the conversion rate, as well as the heat maps. But I hope you guys found this video very useful. Please don't forget to comment, share, like, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in our next video.